And let's welcome Mr. Li Jiale, Vice Chairman of the Hong Kong Federation of Industry and Commerce Professionals. He will speak on From Local Champions to Global Leaders, Empowering Chinese Consultants to Guide Global Expansion. 掌声有请。
Good morning and good afternoon. So I think we're almost ready for lunch, and I'm holding you back. There's always an interesting terms to translation, but let me first thank you, our leadership, Li Weizhang, Zhu Shujiang, Nick. Where's Nick? Oh, Nick, there you are, Nick. Li Weizhang. So very glad to be here. And as you know, I was the former ambassador sent by ICMCI 25 years ago to help establish IMC China. And following on, Xin Let came from Singapore. Everybody helped, right, to make sure that this would become reality. So the question I want to begin with is, when is the best time to plant a tree? 25 years ago. The next best time is now. And what is the next best time? 25 years from now. So when we started, we had a number of requests from China. Oh, can we be the representative of China? We don't know. We had to come in and speak to a number of individuals. China back in 2001, this is 25 years ago, was a different world. And I'm sure you all know that. 2025. China is much bigger than the US in terms of PPP. The world is moving forward, right? And we all see AI has changed. So now we have a new opportunity. How should we take that? 25 years ago, and there's me up there, back then, the president, chairman of ICMCI was Walter Vieira. He's 90 years old now, he's in India. My colleague, Professor Alpha Hall, he's 89, getting up there. And as you can see, 25 years from now, I'll be in the 90s as well. But we continue to work, and that was 25 years ago. Here's an opportunity. Chinese next leap forward. And you notice that individual is pointing to the Orion constellation. The Orion constellation is an interesting constellation because from the east and the west, it has the same meaning. A seeker, a hunter, growth, someone who can help future. How should we move forward? And I think there's an opportunity now for Chinese consultants, CMCs in this room, to go forward. Now, what do I mean? And I'm sure all of you in this room heard about the Belt and Road, right? The Belt and Road Initiative. Now it's over 100 countries. I've been speaking with some of the diplomats from Belt and Road, and they said, Greg, China is taking us to space. Don't leave us behind. We want to be a part of it. We don't want to be part of the digital divide. We want to be part of the new world, and China can help. So coming back to one of the speakers early on, Mr. Xie down there says, we have to understand the market. Where is the market going? The market said, let's go to space, right? We're not talking about geopolitics. We're moving to astropolitics. Now, as a consultant, I've been doing this for over 40 years, with all sorts of company. Had a lot of fun. We translate, ambition into global strategy. Back then, when I was doing consulting, we are basically company doctors. We come in, companies hurt, we turn it around, fix it forward, right? Now the world has changed. AI has become part of our tool, right? We help companies to grow. Imagine someday, BYD will say to one of you in this room, says, I want to go to Tajikistan. We want to build a business there. Can you help me? And this is how consulting goes abroad. And it's very important that we work with architects. Now, as an example, I have some architect's friend from the UK, very famous name, and he won a project in Hong Kong. So only way for that person to work in Hong Kong is to partner with a local firm. Okay? And you see many beautiful places, airports, designed by him. And you notice that part of in the family of ICMCI, it makes a big difference. Okay? Now, there's a professor, one of our old friends called David Meister, and he has a trust formula. You may have heard of this one, trust. How do you build trust with your client? Building trust across the nation, across the boundaries is key. How do you build trust? So his formula was C plus R plus I divided by SQ. What is that? Okay? So C is confidence or credibility, or the word we use today is competence. So a client has to believe that you can do the job, right? C. R, what is R? R is reliability. That means even though you promise to do something, you can deliver. Today, you can add a little bit resilience to it. And what is I? So David Meister says I is, what is that word? Today we call integrity. Okay? He also used touch, the personality. For example, if you hear something from a client, you don't spread the word. You don't spread it out to others. He called it intimacy. But we know the word integrity is also very important, right? Now, all that is very important to build trust. And he says all that has no meaning if the consultant is very self-orientated, meaning I do everything for myself. Okay? Now, as a consultant, you realize that the Big Four and many big names like McKinsey, BCG, you work with a number of consultants. You work with a number of clients, right? And some of the clients are competitors. How does that work? So your client said, wait, you're helping him and now you're helping me? It doesn't work. Where is that alignment? You're doing it for yourself. Well, some of you have probably heard of the Bain capital model, right? The Bain model, which is instead of working with all clients, you only work with a few clients in the industry. Now, this is the model that has been very successful, and I'll come back to that. But what I saw this morning is a number of innovation in terms of what China has done and can do for the future. Now, how did McKinsey or AT Kearney or other places, move into Hong Kong as an example, right? Now, usually they're brought in by a CEO that says, oh, I've used McKinsey in the past. Can you come in and you build the same? And you find that this is, again, it's going to work for you. BYD or Xiaomi is going to go to different places. Oh, it worked in China. Can you help me? But there's a difference, right? You don't understand a local market. And therefore, you have to reach out. Now, I want to give you a clue, because many years ago, when I was part of the Aon, and Aon was at that time one of the biggest risk consultants in the world, and we had to help a country fix their central bank. It wasn't easy, and eventually we ran out of expertise. And guess who I called? A CMC from the ICMCI network. That person has changed so many things in the past. His experience was critical. And we crashed the project so well, right? Because we had that extra additional help. So reach out to your ICMCI individuals. They're actually treasure trove. Get them to help you. Again, many times when we reach out, companies take along their best doctors. And I think with all this AI and power going forward, you need individuals to help you move into this new space. Tomorrow, I mean exactly tomorrow, you have to go back and ask your client, how can I help you expand your business? The industry here in China, we're looking at growth. China has switched topic to growth internationally, and we're looking at growth consulting. So Bain Capital works on a very unique, interesting. You don't work on one project, you work on many projects, maybe 7 years. It's patient capital. You also add in a little of your own capital, and you grow together, right? That's another element of consultant model that perhaps you can consider. We learned yesterday that leverage consulting actually has the same model. Very smart of them. See? Things are really moving. I want to introduce OASA a bit. It's another organization I created 5 years ago. And we love NASA so much, so we call it OASA, OASA. The best way to predict the future is to create it by one of the gurus in consulting. I actually was supposed to meet up with Peter Drucker. Back then, he was 90 years old, and we had a conference in Hawaii. So I knew the professor who was his PA. I said, oh, can I meet with the great man? And he said, why don't you write to him directly? Which I did. And he faxed back. Back then, we used faxes. He faxed back immediately. He said, Greg, I don't neither have the time nor the interest to meet. Now, of course, he's a very busy man, 90 years old. He has really no time. And he corrected his own grammar in the fax, and he signed it. So I have his signature. It's one of my treasures I have of him. And the humility, that's very important. Now, in closing, there are 3 stories I want to point to. One is ICMCI. Again, it is amazing what ICMCI has done for the world. Thank you, Nick, and everybody else who came before, and all you individuals from around the world. They're not paid. They're doing this from their good heart, and they're spending valuable time, despite having run their own business as well. If you need someone who's really good and have the depth, you can trust a CMC from your network, and that's very powerful. The second is IMCHK. We started 25 years ago. We are actually a younger brother, much younger brother of China, of course. We try what we can do. We hopefully, 25 years from now, you're going to have another conference in Hong Kong with a new set of consulting models going around the world. The other is OASA. I want to end with that because the next world is going to be about space. I'm taking you to the new world. And the new world is already here, new space. New space is commercialization of space. So China now is at the leading edge of what we can do. I was speaking to somebody in Beijing, and they said, Greg, what can you do to help us go overseas? Well, to do that, you have to swing by Hong Kong or Singapore, and we'll help you do that. So on that note, thank you again to the senior leadership here, and thank you, Nick, and the ICMCI leadership. So thank you.
Thank you, Professor Li. Thank you, Professor Li, for your profound insights.